This morning for our remembrance in Eitaikyo, we have a special guest speaker, Reverend David Fujimoto. Reverend Fujimoto began his education at the Hongwanji Mission School in Honolulu and graduated from Farrington High School. And he attended the University of Hawaii at Manoa, where he earned his degree in psychology and then a master's degree in Buddhist studies from the Institute of Buddhist Studies. He then began his journey to become a minister by receiving Tokudo ordination in 2007, followed by Kyoshi certification in 2010, and then his Kai Kyoshi, which is a full-fledged minister, in August of 2011. Prior to the minister, Reverend Fujimoto was an educator. He has served as the assistant to the director of the Buddhist Studies Center, assistant chaplain at the Pacific Buddhist Academy, and as a minister at the Honpa Hongwanji, Hilo Betsuing, and Puna Hongwanji, which also oversees Pahala and Naalehu as well. Currently, he is the resident minister at Mililani Hongwanji. Welcome, Reverend David Fujimoto.
Okay. Please join me in a moment of reflection. I have collected true words to inspire others in their practice for birth, in order that the process be made continuous, without end and without interruption, by which those who have been born first guide those who come later, and those who are born later join those who were born before. This is so that the boundless ocean of birth and death be exhausted. Namo Amida. Well, good morning, everyone. So thank you very much, Dr. Reverend Sumikawa, for the invitation to speak. Thank you to the members, especially last week when our Dharma school visited. I hope they never make trouble. In preparation for this talk, I was having moments of panic because, I think if you remember the last time I was here, there was kind of a mass confusion, because the week before I was scheduled to talk, I was getting ready for service at Mililani, and this was about maybe 7:45, and I received a telephone call. Oh, Reverend David, are you on your way? It's like, on my way where? Oh, you speak at Kailua this morning. I do? I'm looking at my calendar. No, I don't. And so, because this time around, the Dharma school came the week before, even caused more panic because, in my mind, I was thinking, okay, am I supposed to be following the Dharma school or do I come the week after? So, every single day, I don't know if you guys are like me. I had to look at my calendar. Okay, it's next week. Okay, it's this week. Okay, it's tomorrow. Okay, this is the morning I have to leave early. Yeah, so it's been quite a interesting journey up until this morning. And so, this morning you folks are observing Eitaikyo. And, I'm sure through the years, you've heard many ministers say that Eitaikyo service is the memorial service for people who have handed down the teaching of the Nembutsu to us. It is a service for all departed members of the temple. And so, in doing so, I was, as much as I don't understand Japanese, and how many of you folks understand Japanese? Oh, you know what? I don't even have to do this then. Okay, let's just say for sakes. Okay, so Etai, right? There's perpetual. No, I did not write this. Okay, this is like size 250 font. Okay, so perpetual or immortality. Okay, and you hear the word kyo, right? Amida kyo and all that, right? So that means cord or sutra. I just thought of something. If I had held this upside down, nobody would have known. So, it is said that the 14th abbot of the Hongwanji, Jakunyo, started this tradition around 1679. I think it was his aspirations for the Buddha's teachings to continue from descendant to descendant, generation to generation. It is the temple's vow, right, to propagate the teachings of the Buddha and Shinran Shonin beyond the generations. By our attendance and our participation in the church, it is, and also the activities, we learn that it is a place that helps us to understand that what makes it possible and meaningful for the temple to propagate. And that is all the people of the temple, both past and the present. It was the concern of our forefathers, and now it is our concern for the future that the back or the present, the back and the present, to avoid future crisis. This morning, I wanted to share with you a quote. Okay. So it says, the Dharma, the Nembutsu, is a teaching that gave the people of our past the strength to live their lives. It is also what gave them hope for the future that we are all now a part of. As a way of assuring that the temple is able to propagate in that one. Yeah, that one. I always do that. I need to right-click more often to find easier words. And to continue the process of receiving and sharing, the temple reminds us to appreciate the gifts from our past by remembering and honoring all those who have made the Nembutsu a part of their lives, and to honor their wish to share this Dharma with the future. This Dharma is shared as a part of the temple and is shared annually at its temple's annual Eitaikyo service. For me, hearing this reminds me of why Eitaikyo is probably my favorite service. Now, it might sound a little morbid, especially considering it's a memorial service, but it comes at the right time of the year when we do celebrate the concept of Eitaikyo, and that feeling is of gratitude that comes each and every time this year, or that holiday spirit that all of us get into. For many, it starts as we get ready for Thanksgiving, then Bodhi Day, Christmas, then New Year's, or at least the Lunar New Year's. Although nowadays, if you're like me and some of my members, it starts out about the first or second week of November when Starbucks introduces their holiday cups and their holiday drink. I have it. How many of you know this? Okay. So, you guys will understand this next concept, okay? It's funny because on weekdays we can barely get out of bed to go to work. And yet, we are bright-eyed and bushy-tailed at 4 a.m. to line up to get these Starbucks limited edition reusable cups. This year, I waited 40 minutes to get my drink. Since I go there to the same Starbucks every morning, I asked the barista if I had time, and she said, yeah, I think so. So I got into my car, and I delivered my wife's Starbucks sandwich and drove right back to get my drink. My mom thinks that I'm crazy. Speaking about standing in line, for my birthday this year, I woke up my wife early in the morning because I wanted to open the Disney store. Yes, you heard that right, the Disney store. Now, we are in the midst of collecting the monthly Disney Wisdom collection. Every third Saturday, so yes, last night, a new stuffed animal, a mug, and a pin set featuring a quote from Disney comes out. And just so happened, that Saturday and my birthday fell on the same day. So anyway, if you're the first one in line, there's a whole ritual of opening up the Disney store, and you get a keepsake key with that morning's date. And every morning this happens. So you can go on YouTube and find videos of others who have done this. It's kind of a childish thing, but I just had to do it. Fighting off all the small kids, saying, not today, boy. My wife says I was less than enthusiastic, but I was, hurry up and just give me the key. I think as I told my parents this about these two stories, they must have thought in their minds, oh my goodness, what have we raised? What a big child. But when you really think about it, we are all bound by our parents' hopes, their fears, and their aspirations. Their parents too had hopes, fears, and aspirations for their children, and so on and so forth backwards. That is exactly what we have come to celebrate this morning. Every generation before us had their hopes that their hard work would eventually pay off, into which the next generation have a better life than them. And yet they had the fear, the wanting to protect you from the hardship that they were going through, and the hopes you never had to go through what they went. Now that I have a stepchild that's out of the house, thank goodness, graduated college, thank goodness, working, thank goodness, and her own cares and worries, I think about this idea that while I want to protect her, I need to step back and hope that all that we did as parents did help her and also not have the hardships that we went through. And I think it's more than life without her smartphone. At least I worry about that. Yeah, at least I worry about that part. Because, when we were growing up, what did we do? If we didn't understand something, or if we had a report, what did we do? We went to the library, we looked it up in the encyclopedia. My grandmother didn't have a complete set, so it's like, oh, man, I gotta find a topic that has that my grandmother has the encyclopedia. Phone book, and also the dictionary. As I was writing this, the red line came up on the computer, to which it said that I misspelled encyclopedia. I went into panic mode, and yet through all of this, I never know how to spell encyclopedia. And yet, what was the right thing to do? Right click. I didn't have to go to my dictionary. In fact, I don't even know where it is already. But, I bet none of you heard the last statement. Am I right? Because in your head, you're thinking right? But that's okay. Now it's all about, did you eat? Wait, what did you eat? Stop eating McDonald's every night? Do you have enough money? You staying healthy? I started to think, man, I sound so old now. But it is that fear that we have as parents. It is a continuing legacy that has been perpetuated generation after generation with different fears and different situations. One thing that all the generations have in common is thank you, of the Dharma. I gotta right-click this one. Through our experiences, through the experience of the past generations, all depends on the Dharma, as well as the Dharma depends on all the experiences of us and the generations that have gone by, and the future generations, if it still is to survive. So let us think about something for a little while. Okay? How are our experiences dictated? Let's reflect on these three questions. How do we think? Why do we think that way? And where do we go from here? Those three questions are important questions that we must ask ourselves every day. To answer these questions, we are able to turn to the Dharma to help us to seek these answers. To do this, I wanted to go outside of what we know as a meaning to Dharma and take a look at Dharma in a different lens. Many of us understand the term Dharma as the teachings, or the teachings of the Buddha. However, let us take a look at it from the point of view of Master Vasubandhu. He saw it more as an experience to which it encompasses ideas such as duties, rights, character, vocation, religion, customs, and all the behavior that is considered appropriate, correct, and morally upright. These are some of the very morals that our parents wanted to instill in all of us. The Dharma is the process to which one is liberated from suffering. However, it does not extinguish one's defilements, and it is by that reason of one's defilements that the world wanders in the ocean of existence. He stated that past dharmas have existed. Future dharmas will come into existence, but only present dharmas really exist. Easy to understand, right? Okay. So dharmas are real distinct types in all of the experiences. So let us take this into consideration. A dharma is included in its own nature because it is distinct from the nature of others. Understand that part? So far so good? Okay. Dharmas are distinct, they are not separate, as they do not function in isolation, are conditioned so that they have many parts and aspects. Many conditions give rise to one Dharma which functions in various ways. This is your Okage Samade moment. Dharmas are forces and functions. Dharmas are not things or substances. They are dynamic events rather than static entities. The existence of dharmas is to cause and be caused. Another Okage-sama moment. Dharma is real. Real in the sense that dharma are established by their own nature as being truly distinct and forceful. Dharmas are real in that they have ultimate existence. Okay, so in a nutshell, what does that mean? They're multiple, they're momentary, they're impersonal, and mutually conditioned events. Okay, so I'm bad with numbers, so I know I was going to pick on joy for this. Okay, so there are various attempts to define the extent of these instances. Okay, so joy, what is 6, 499, 099, 980?
649,980.
6499 099 980.
Million. Oh, yeah.
6,499,099,980.
That's a different skill than teaching math. That's visualizing.
Huh?
That's a different skill than teaching math.
You know what? It took me 4 days to figure that out.
Right click.
No, you cannot right click that. This is coming from the person that goes to the bank and write his deposit slip still doing this. So anyway, there are 6,499,099,980 moments of Dharma per day. And when you think about it, Joy, another one, she's gonna have nightmares of numbers tonight. 75,211.
Oh, 75,000.
75,211 per second per day. Right? Regardless of their duration, Dharma instants are universally held to be discrete and uniform, which leads to a number of situations. And that's why we don't often, at the beginning of the service, Reverend Sumikawa said, right, hard it is to hear the teachings, right? So these Dharma instances, so much go by, we don't hear many of them. Because why? They're momentary, right? And so multiple that oftentimes we miss the situation. A radical interpretation of impermanence by which Dharma flash into existence for a single instant and then immediately pass away. Nothing about anything is substantial, fixed, and unchanged from one moment to the next. Bless you. So a good example of that was, or is, Joy, what was the first number I said?
6 billion.
Oh, very good. So I guess it wasn't momentary then. So let's put all these concepts, which I know you're going like this right now, into perspective with a little story. Okay, so the other day I was at Subway getting my wife a sandwich. The lady in front of me was finishing paying for her sandwich by the so-called sandwich artist. So she was putting the sandwich in the bag. And so it came to my turn and the lady said, would you like anything else? And I said, oh, can I have a chocolate chip cookie and a macadamia nut cookie? To the amazement of the lady in front of me, she looked and said, oh, I didn't know they had cookies. No, it's right in front of you. I looked at her and we both laughed. Well, I shouldn't be saying that, but in my mind I was thinking that. I looked at her and we both laughed, and I looked at her, I said, well, I tell you what, which one do you want? She looked at me and was even more surprised, and she said, no, I don't want. I said, no, for real, which one do you want? Oh, no, and this was going on for quite a while. Finally, the genius over here said, this has got to end right now. So I said, no, for real, which one do you want? Otherwise you're going to make me cry. So, out of, I guess, astonishment, She looked carefully and picked out one. How come? How come you buy me one? I look like your auntie. And I just simply laughed, and with that we parted ways as each of us got our cookies. There are so many Dharma moments in this situation, and it was a mutual event. It was just momentary, and more than likely will never happen again. Just imagine how this story could have gone. I could have just completely ignored her. And I could have said, duh, it's right in front of you. However, all the conditions were just right, so that the conditions cause more conditions and causes and effects. So in the end, it goes in full circle. When we reflect on this story, we look at the same three questions as I posed in the beginning. How do we think? Why do we think that way? And where do we go from here? The answer is found in the experiences in the Dharma. So where do we get this, and how do we apply it to a more personal level and develop the relationship with our temple? By answering our phone. No, just kidding. Many times in our temple, when a situation happens, what's the first thing that happens? Oh, Reverend Sumikawa can take care of it. Right? Or the much simpler, it's not my job. Dharma as experience has us reflecting. And suddenly we become to the crossroads of, hey, why am I thinking that way? How come I said that? Now what? If everyone said the same thing, what's going to happen? Then things would either never get done, or Reverend Sumikawa becomes just more than a minister. He becomes the janitor, the carpenter, the financial genius of the temple, the babysitter. Thinking of our forefathers was that it was our responsibility to keep the door open, thereby creating the opportunity for the minister and the members to perpetuate the Dharma and share further experiences in the Dharma so that it can flourish to other generations. It creates a real moment in which not only ownership of the temple, but at the same time it creates more moments of Okage Samade. I am who I am because of you. And it turns into I am who I am because of the temple. And the temple is who I am because of the temple. Wait, did that make sense? Okay. This is one of those moments, when you're driving back home, you go, man, that Reverend David, he had that wrong. But anyway, you understand what I'm getting at, right? Okay. So, it's this idea that we create form and function as shareholders of the temple. Shinran Shonin inserts into the ending of his Kyogyo Shinshu to aspire others in their practice for attaining birth in order that the process be made continuous without end and without interruption, by which those who have been born first guide those who come later, and those who are born later join those who were born before. This is so that the boundless ocean of birth and death be exhausted. He had the aspiration for the teachings to flourish continually from one generation to the next, so that all can benefit from the power of the vow and be born into the Pure Land that keeps the content of Buddha's enlightenment always in play and always happening over and over. We can go as far as to say that the process of birth and the generations after continues and keeps Amida's vow alive and the process of enlightenment happening over and over. With this new understanding, let's go back to the earlier quote. The Dharma, the Nembutsu, is the teaching that gave the people of our past the strength to live their lives. Let us see it now from a new understanding of this point of the Dharma. If we say that the Dharma is experience, to which it encompasses ideas such as duties, rights, character, vocation, religion, custom, and all the behaviors that is considered appropriate, correct, and morally upright, we can see the quote in a different light that sheds a light into how we should be thinking. The Dharma as an experience, to which it encompasses ideas such as duty, rights, character, vocation, religion, customs, and all the behavior that is considered appropriate, is the teaching that gave the people of our past, the strength to live their lives. It also what gave them the hope for the future that we are now a part of. As a way of ensuring the temple is able to now I cannot say that word, propagate in very good. And to continue the process of receiving and sharing, the temple reminds us to appreciate the gifts from our past by remembering and honoring those who have made the Nembutsu a part of their lives, and to honor their wish to share this Dharma with the future. This Dharma, as an experience, is shared as part of the temple's annual Eitaikyo service. It's a different perspective, isn't it? Nembutsu now becomes an active form of appreciation to which we start to understand not only our struggles, but the struggles of those who came before us, and to honor them. We too feel this sense to share in... Huh? Not preparation. Of the temple and what it teaches, and the further 6,499,099,980 per day experiences that we are faced with every single day. The temple doors truly remain open because of the generations of Dharma moments and experiences that have happened, are happening, and will happen. While the first one we have no control over, we do benefit from them and encourages us to help us to experience the ones that are happening now. And others in the future benefit from what will happen. It may seem confusing now, but the end result, the byproduct, is a life of gratitude. Living a life of gratitude in Namo Amida Butsu, whether reciting it in happy moments, sad moments, everyday moments, is our experience, is our practice. As we part ways this morning, as we go on with our daily lives, let us consider, especially as we head into the holidays, what is my Dharma experience? How is it my experience? Why is it my experience? And where do I go from here in sharing these moments, especially to inspire others? While real and momentary, there is so much we can offer and share with others. Then we start to see just what this life really is about. And even more so, we start to see what the teachings of the Buddha and Shinran Shonin that gave the people of our past the strength to live their lives truly is also what gave them hope for the future that we are a part of now. And want to pass on that next generation so that they too can have Dharma experiences of their own. And suddenly, Shinran's aspiration to inspire others in their practice for attaining birth in order so that the process be made continuous without end becomes truly alive in all of us as a sense of opportunity and responsibility. As I close, like I said previously, it may seem confusing now, but the end result, the byproduct, is a life of gratitude. Living the life of gratitude in Namo Amida Butsu, whether reciting it in happy moments, sad moments, everyday moments, or experiences, is definitely our practice. The hows, the whys, and where do I go from here comes alive in all of you, in each and every one of your Dharma experience, just as my own Dharma experience of waking up, to buying reusable cups, to fighting off kids, and getting that keepsake, one in which I am so grateful for the experience. And the experience was made possible for me to enjoy and go through because of others, and the conditions being just right. And now it is my aspiration for all of you to find your Dharma experience and reflect on the hows, the whys, and where do I go from here. So thank you very much for attending this morning's service. Once again, it's been truly an honor and privilege to be up here this morning. Thank you also to the karmic conditions that were just right to make this day possible, so that I can steal keys. No. So please join me in a moment of reflection as we close. Each Namo Amida Butsu, Nembutsu moment, is rooted in the past, nurtured by the present and benefited by the future, such that the process be made continuous and with no end, so that other generations, even far after I attain birth, can attain birth. Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you very much, everyone.